Buffy Celebrity Cameos Part 2. Let's do it. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Antwoord Movie Mania, and we are on part 2 of the Buffy celebrity cameos through the Buffyverse. If you haven't checked out part 1, please do. It's on the channel. It's the last video I have done, and in that video we've spotted loads of cameos right through the series, and in this video we are continuing. If you are new to Buffy, then you will be mind blown to how many people that aren't really as famous back then but are megastars now. So we are going to continue, but if you are old Buffy fans like I am, then this probably might not be as new to you. But first off, we are going to start with Wentworth Miller. Now, he started in season 2 of Go Fish. He was a jock who was getting drugged in the sauna in the swim team, and then they were turning into giant fish that were wanting to be... The coach was trying to make an elite swim team, and he was drugging the team with a Russian poison that was turning them into fish to win the trophy for that academic year. But obviously Wentworth Miller then went on to star in Prison Break, which was a mega success. It got 5 seasons out of it, and he went on to superstardom in loads of other films and projects. And also in the episode of Go Fish was Conchetta Farrell. She starred in Go Fish as well. She was the nurse that was drugging the school team as well. She went on to star in the mega comedy 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen. Next up we have John Hawkes. He was in an episode of season 2 where in the high school where 2 ghosts kept reliving the past at a dance where a teacher and a student were in love with each other, and the student killed the teacher with a gun, and he has a brief cameo in it as the janitor, and the ghosts spirits go into them and they keep reliving the past over and over until Buffy and Angel put a stop to it, even though Angel's bad, and then but with Angel being shot they can stop the case because Angel lives, and then that stops everything from repeating itself. But he went on to star in loads of films. You will know him mostly in The Perfect Storm with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg. Unfortunately, none of them survived that trip. He goes on to being in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and he gets killed by the fisherman, unfortunately, which kind of see a resembling theme through his career. But there you go. There you have it for him, John Hawkes, in them amazing films as well. Next up we have Pedro Pascal. He was in an episode of season 4, The Freshman. He was a student who bumps into Buffy, who gets lost, and then Buffy thinks he's made a friend. And the next moments later he gets snagged by vampires and he gets turned. I think his name was Eddie in it, and he had a little book about bondage, the human bondage, and he uses it as a security blanket, but Buffy gets the wrong idea of the name of the book. And you will know Pedro Pascal because he is a megastar as well. Most of these people have become megastars from the show. He went into the show HBO Max The Last of Us, the PS4 game, I believe. Well, it might have gone on to PS5 now, but The Last of Us, that has become a mega success, and everyone, when the show came out, everyone was like in awe that he was in Buffy, and I was just sat there like, I've known that for years, and I'm sure everyone who's a Buffy fan will have known that as well over the years. So Pedro Pascal, megastar in Buffy. Next up is Rachel Bilson. She starred in an episode of season 7 as one of the potential slayers, and she went on to the OC. She was a major player in the OC, and then she moved on to the Gilmore Girls, so she found fame in that sense. So everyone who watches the OC, if If you ever spot her in season 7, then you'll know that she was in Buffy. Next up we have Carl Penn. He was in season 4 of Be a Bad. College students that went to the local pub, and the bartender, the bar owner should I say, was serving them Frosty Black, I believe the name was, or Frosty Black, and that turned them all into cavemen. And unfortunately Buffy ended up getting drunk because she was trying to get over Parker, who used her on a one night stand. They didn't want to know her, so she was trying to get over it that way, and she ended up turning into a cave woman herself. But Carl Penn went on. He actually starred as a cameo in Angel as well as a mind reader, making Cordelia suffer all the visions and putting them on air, which was a horrible thing to do for Wolfram and Hart, just to get it to Angel, which Lila brought him in. But then he went on to the famous films of Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies, and that spawned a series of films, and I'm sure he's done a lot more things since then as well. Next up we've got Bianca Lawson. She was Kendra in season 2, who was the Slayer after Buffy died in season 1, which was major confusing because then Buffy got brought back to life and everyone thought that she was still a Slayer. But once a Slayer dies, a new one is called, and then Kendra got called. But unfortunately she dies at the end of season 2 with Drusilla killing her. And she has gone on to star in many things. I can't think off the top of my head, but I seen a picture of her recently and she pretty much hasn't aged a day. Oh, she went on to Save the Last Dance. That's what she's in. It was out in the 2000s. I haven't watched it in a while, but she was in Save the Last Dance, so she's in that. So there, she's gone on to star in a couple of good films. Next up is Alexander Breckenridge. I believe I've pronounced that right. She was in season 7, episode 1, where the Sunnydale High School finally opens, and loads of ghosts that have been trapped there are tormenting all the students, and she makes a brief cameo in the episode, but she has gone on to bigger and better things in The Walking Dead, I believe. She is a major player in that. I've never watched The Walking Dead, but I've heard loads of things about it, saying people love it and everything. For me, I'm not a big zombie fan, but you know, if the time does come around to watching it, I will give it a watch. But yeah, she went into loads of other things, plus the biggest thing, probably The Walking Dead. And lastly, we have Eric Balfour, I believe if I'm pronouncing that right, Eric Balfour. He was in season 1 and 2, season 1, episode 1 and 2, Welcome to the Hellmouth and the Harvest. Played Jesse, Xander's best friend. Unfortunately, Darla turns him into a vampire, and he gets staked by Xander in episode 2, Welcome to the Harvest. After that, he never gets mentioned again, which I thought was really weird, and I'm sure a lot of you say that because it was Xander's best friend and he's in the first 2 episodes and then he never gets mentioned again. Apparently he was meant to come back in an episode of Conversations with Dead People, but apparently he was too busy working. As you know, he was gone on to work on loads of other projects with CSI. I can't remember which one. I think it might be Miami. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's gone on to success as well from the show. So, and that's it. It just goes to show how many people from the Buffyverse who have made brief cameos in it do go on to superstardom, have found bigger and better things for themselves to be in, with from movies to loads of other TV shows. So it just proves how much beloved Buffy the Vampire Slayer is. It's brought on so many people, celebrities that you know and love today, and it's all thanks down to that show that they've got that stepping stone. But that was it. That was part 2 of my Buffy the Vampire Slayer celebrity cameos. How many cameos have you found? Did you know all the cameos that I have presented to you in the past these two videos? But as always, I would love to hear what you thought. Is there any more celebrities that I might have missed, or you might have missed, and then you found them on a future watch? But as always, I am Matt with Movie Mania. Please leave your likes and comments. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.